Hello YouTube! It is time for my review of the BlackBerry Bold 9930. I got this phone, I ordered it on August 15th from online Verizon. I know they got it in their stores today. I had the 9650 before it. This phone was good. I had upgraded from the Storm 2, which I had upgraded from the Storm 1 from. And so this was definitely, it was really cool because it was a mixture of all the BlackBerries that I've had. It was a mixture of the touchscreen and also of the keyboards. There's a big difference in the sizing of the screen and the keys. RAM says they're 6% bigger, which doesn't seem like a lot in numbers, but once you start texting, emailing, whatever you do, it's a huge difference. It's definitely a lot easier to text or email, whatever, and it makes a big difference. Also, the screen size, you can tell the screen size is much bigger on that. And then, of course, this also has the touch screen that you can rotate through. The 9930 is running OS 7, which a really cool feature on that I like a lot, it's maybe not such a big deal, is that you can customize the layout. You can either have 3 icon levels here, otherwise you can do 2, or you can do 1, or you can slide it down, and then it just shows your wallpaper there. A big difference that I have noticed is the browser speed. This 9930 browser is so much faster, so much better than the 9650. Whenever I was loading a page in the browser on the 9650, I noticed it would take a really long time, the bar on the bottom would move really slowly. The browser is much faster on the 9930. As you can see, I pulled up the browser there, and it takes a second to go to Google. And then if I do a speed test, I'll type in BlackBerry, I hit go. As you can see, it's pretty instant that it comes up with a search result in Google. I can click on BlackBerry, use the touch screen, and it'll pull it up pretty quickly. You can tell the top blue bar there is just moving right along. The size in these phones, you can tell it's 9930 is much thinner. Also, you can tell on the sides there, on the 9650 we have the C charger, we got a convenience key, and then the volume buttons. On the 9930 you have one convenience key. The mute button is here in the middle instead of on the top, and then the volume buttons. The top actually just has one button, that's the lock button. It's kind of hard to get used to the top, but once you get used to it, it's really easy, a lot more convenient. And the other side, on the 9650, of course, you have the headphone jack, and oh, that's on the other side, just kidding. On the 9650, you see you can have the other convenience key right there. On the 9930, you have the charger and the headphone jack, and no other convenience key. So there's just one convenience key on this, which I could have taken one more convenience key, but that's fine. I like the touchscreen, so I'm good with that. The one problem that I have noticed with the 9930 is the camera. The camera on the 9930 doesn't autofocus itself. You have to make sure you focus, and the picture is good when you take the picture. I noticed that on the 9650, if you hold the side button down for the camera, it would stabilize and then take it, and it would be a stabilized picture. On the 9930, you have to make sure that the picture is good when you're taking it, because it's not going to autofocus itself. So you have to make sure it's good, then you can take it, and it takes a really good picture. It does have a 5 megapixel camera as opposed to the 3.2. It still has the flash on it. You can see it still has the Bold branding on the back, and then this cover here is still really cool, although I have noticed it gets fingerprints you can see really easily, so that's where this case comes in handy. It's made of a plastic, rubbery kind of material. It's great, it covers everything on my phone, but you can see like the sides are clear, so when I put my phone in it, you can still see the cool bezel on the side. Something that I noticed that I wasn't sure if I was going to have a problem with, that I realized is not a big deal at all, is the LED on the 9930 is much smaller than the 9650. My friend has the 9330 Curve, and she has the tiny LED light, and I didn't like that at all because you could never see when it was blinking unless you were right over the top of it looking at it. Also, on the Curve, I know that you couldn't use the LED lights where you can change the color of it. Like on here, you can tell it's blinking different colors. It's actually green and blue. That's my BBM signal, and right now my BlackBerry Playbook group is BBMing me, so shout out to everyone there. If I can have my colors, then I know who's contacting me. I hate having to interrupt a conversation with someone to look at my phone only to realize that Twitter just texted me. So I like to have different colors for everyone so I know if it's blinking an actual color, it's important. Otherwise I can just ignore it, and you're obviously not important to me if you don't have a color. I definitely think that the touchscreen was a needed addition. It's something that some people are saying, well, why would you have to have the trackpad if you have the touchscreen as well? But I like the trackpad for scrolling through menus. I notice that sometimes if I try to use the touchscreen for menus, I'm touching the wrong thing and I open up some different window and I don't want that. So I use the trackpad to make sure that I know what I'm doing. Overall, I would say that this new BlackBerry Bold is a great upgrade. Anybody that's had a Bold before, if you haven't had a Bold before, I think you're really going to enjoy this phone. It's a great BlackBerry. It has everything you need, the touchscreen, trackpad, and a huge keyboard. If you're a BlackBerry user, you're obviously going to love this. Even if you're not, I would suggest going into a store that carries it and test it out. I think that this BlackBerry deserves 10 out of 10 Jim and Mike's.